Hello and welcome to News Central TV. I'm Darshan Usman. The top stories this hour. President Tinubu to confer national honors on select lawmakers as part of activities to mark June 12 Democracy Day. Naka traditional ruler calls for help over Apa and Gwer West killings as Miette Allah in Benue alleges threats to life and intimidation. Away from Nigeria, Russia's Africa Corps replaces Wagner Group in Mali. Details shortly. We begin the news from the Federal Capital Territory, where President Bola Tinubu has been scheduled to confer national honors on selected lawmakers as part of the Democracy Day celebrations on June 12. Now, this was disclosed in a statement by House spokesman Akin Rotimi Jr. in Abuja. Rotimi said both the leadership and members of the House of Representatives will take part in a special joint sitting of the National Assembly where the president is expected as the special guest of honor will address the legislators. The event will also feature goodwill messages from former presiding officers and the official conferment of honors on chosen lawmakers. Rotimi encouraged Nigerians to use Democracy Day as a moment for reflection, patriotism, and renewed commitment to building a more inclusive and prosperous nation. Still on the democracy, the federal government has declared Thursday, June 12, 2025, a public holiday to mark this year's Democracy Day celebration. The announcement was made by Minister of Interior Dr. Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who congratulated Nigerians on 26 years of uninterrupted democratic rule. He described June 12 as a symbol of the nation's enduring commitment to truth, justice, and peace, reflecting the strength and resilience of the Nigerian people. The minister emphasized that democracy is a continuous journey open to improvement and growth. He also reaffirmed the commitment of the Bola Tinubu administration to democratic values rooted in the freely expressed will of the people across all sectors of national life. Away from that, Nigerian Minister for Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, says that plans have been put in place to balance public spending with national development priorities. Bagudu made this known after a meeting with President Bola Tinubu in Lagos State. He says that the visit is also an opportunity to brief the president on steps being taken.
What we are suffering worse than the developed countries is underinvestment. So how do you correct underinvestment? Bold and courageous leadership says that you must cut waste. Subsidies are costing us a lot of money, both fuel subsidies, foreign exchange subsidy, and even electricity subsidy. The coordinating minister and I, Wale Edu, met with Bill Gates a few days ago, and we are happy with the stamp of approval, of confidence. Nigerians should know that economists are judged, successful economists are judged by their abilities to attract investment. We need investment in everything. Most of our failing is underinvestment. Security, we have not been funding it because we don't have the resources. Education, health, agriculture. So now we have taken steps that can lead to correcting those decades of underinvestment, and that is what will take Nigeria and to the pride of place we all hope President Asuwaju will take it to.
The National Youth Service Corps has announced that the 2025 Batch A Stream 2 orientation course will begin nationwide on Wednesday, 11th June. Now, according to a countdown banner on the NYSC's official website, registration for prospective Corps members will also start that day and close by midnight on Friday, 13th June. The swearing-in ceremony is set for Friday, while the 3-week orientation program will wrap up on Tuesday, 1st of July. Now, all prospective corps members have been advised to report to the orientation camps indicated on their call-up letters. Away from that, the Benue State chapter of the Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria has raised alarm over increasing cases of intimidation, cattle rustling, and threats to life in parts of the state. In a statement released in Makurdi on Sunday, the group alleged that one of its members, Samia Hassan, was killed last Tuesday in the North Bank area of the state capital. According to the association's chairman, Ardo Risku, a total of 1,185 cows were rustled between mid-May and 2nd June in Agatu and Guma local government areas. Now, the group is calling on the Benue State government, the police command, and other security agencies to thoroughly investigate the killing and bring the perpetrators, including those behind the rustling, to justice. Still in Benue State, renewed violence in Akpa and Agwer West local government areas have left dozens dead and several communities displaced following coordinated attacks by suspected armed herders. Now, the March 11 incident came after community members accused political and traditional leaders of not doing enough to halt the killings. As the area continues to recover from fresh attacks and mounting insecurity, New Central team visited the community on a fact-finding mission. They spoke to the Te Tioshing and traditional ruler of the area, whose palace was among several structures set ablaze by angry youths earlier in March. We bring you his thoughts.
It is very devastating. It started on 8th of February 2011, and it has lingered on up to date. But the attacks have taken a multi-dimension, and the bandits in my domain, they have a motley of personnel, and the wall is asymmetrical, it's amorphous. These people, they come as herders with their animals, graze on every available crops cultivated, chase out the natives. Another group will move in with the aim, and their aim is to occupy and maim and kill. Another one comes in and carry out the work of kidnapping and keeping people into their kidnapped cells and taking huge amount of money as ransom. As a result, I have lost concomitantly for a period of 15 years, 676 persons.
Still talking insecurity. In the past few weeks, some parts of Delta State, South Nigeria, have come under a series of coordinated attacks carried out by suspected herdsmen and kidnappers, leaving an unconfirmed number of persons killed and many still in the kidnappers' den. How are the state government, local government chairmen, and traditional rulers in the oil-rich Niger Delta State tackling the insecurity ravaging their people and causing food insecurity amidst Nigeria's worsening economy? News Central correspondent Austin Azu in this special report tells us more.
Insecurity reigns in Delta States, where the forests have become hideouts for killer herdsmen and kidnappers who target victims from different locations in the state. The ravaging insecurity challenges have forced many farmers to abandon their farmlands with their crops yet to be harvested, and many can no longer live in their built houses due to this scourge. Only recently, the Iseluku Kingdom in Delta State placed curses on kidnappers and killer herdsmen who have caused them tears and pains. Worried about the escalating tension of incessant kidnappings and killings in Abraka, some individuals in the university community staged a peaceful protest to register their grievances and call on the governments and relevant authorities to wipe out these kidnappers and killer herdsmen from their bushes and forests. The protesters were eventually dislodged by soldiers, allegedly resulting in injuries to some of the protesters.
They don't shoot person. They don't shoot person. Army don't shoot person. I am not shoot person. I am not shoot person.
A day after, the local hunters, in collaboration with the Nigeria police, recorded some achievements against the kidnappers.
Oh boy. Where the magazine? Oh boy. Nice one, nice one. Nice one, nice one.
But how are the local government chairmen and traditional rulers tackling these insecurity challenges in their areas?
Pleading with the federal government and the state government to relocate criminal herdsmen from my kingdom, because there's a difference between people from the north and criminal element. We give God the glory that the situation is under control.
Insecurity has taken an international dimension, and we're trying to deal with it locally, and we are dealing with it. You know, it's not something. It's not a one-off thing. The processes are on, and by the grace of God, the tension is already doused.
Meanwhile, at an emergency security meeting summoned by the state governor, Sheriff Oborewori, announced plans to adopt modern technology to tackle crimes across the state.
I've called you here so that we can share ideas and suggestions on how to tackle the persistent threats to peace and public safety in the state. As a matter of urgency, we need to identify the remote and immediate causes as well as profile lasting solutions to the following security challenges. 1. Renewed spate of kidnapping. 2. Rising cases of court clashes and court-related killings. 3. Drug abuse and trafficking and ritual killings, including other security issues that we know. Our government has been collaborating with security agencies to coordinate raids on black spots around the state.
As the people of Delta State continue to worry about the rising insecurity in parts of the state, expectations remain that in the coming days, residents will be able to sleep with their two eyes closed. In Asaba, for News Central, Austin Azu.
Thank you, Austin, for that report. Now we'll take a break. When we come back, the news continues. Stay with us. Welcome back, and thank you for staying. Now, we have been able to connect with Professor Nna, who joins me for more on the June 12th Democracy Day development. Professor Nna, can you hear me now? Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, I can hear you.
It's a pleasure to have you.
Good evening.
Good evening. All right. Now, it's been a long time coming for Nigeria's democracy, yet that's 26 years, yet it has still been addressed as a nascent democracy in many climes. Professor, how nascent is our democracy?
Under normal circumstances, a 26-year-old man or woman cannot be called a child any longer. At 26, you should have graduated from the university. Some people have even gotten their master's or PhD. So I don't think you call a 26-year-old person a young person any longer, a very young person as such. So the issue of nascent democracy, I don't know where it's coming from. Maybe because we have not learned enough. That's why we are still saying that our democracy is a nascent one. Because the laws, the parties are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. Look at the cross-carpeting that is happening recently. You know, everybody is just moving to one direction. Now, if parties were done originally with ideologies, you won't have what you're having today. It's because all the parties don't have any ideology. All of them are putting their heads in one egg. So that's a challenge we're having.
Okay.
So that's why we're still at 26. We're still calling the democracy a nascent democracy. But I don't think it is. I think we should have matured. We should have been matured by now.
Absolutely.
So to speak.
Now, let's have your sectoral review of our democracy, Professor. What is your assessment of the political and economic mindset of Nigerians? Do you see our mindsets, or do you see a mindset that is receptive to the tenets of democracy?
Well, like I said earlier, starting from the way we started in 1999, I think that's where the challenge was. Initially, we started with 2 political parties. There were 3 and later 2. And it was those 2 that contested the election. But what we discovered that it was one person that wrote the constitution of those 2 political parties, the AD and the PDP, that contested the election in 1999. Until the late now went to court and said you can't just have 2, 3, 4 political parties. That anybody can float the political party if he has the wherewithal to do that. So you discover that we don't have any ideologies, because one person brought an idea. So his idea is the same anywhere you go. That is why, whether it's APC today or PDP or even Labour, there are thin lines between what they are doing. You discover that it's the same thing. Using EFCC to ensure that people leave their political party to join their own political party. That's all they have been doing since 1999. So it is unfortunate that at 26, we are still grappling with the basics of politics. Honestly, people have been advocating that our leaders should be trained. There should be an institution that will train our leaders for politics, so that people will come with ideas instead of putting their heads in one basket. Because right now, what we're doing is that everybody is doing the same thing. Look at what is happening. Everybody is going to the president to ask the president to please allow me win my state. The Osun man has done so. He went there with his cousin and the brother, the elder brother. The Anambra man has done the same thing. They have split with the president to allow him win his state, that they are going to support him in the presidential election. Is that what it should be? It then means that there are no political parties. These are just associations that people have formed to enable them win elections. Because if there are political parties, they should have different ideologies. They should have things they want to portray. If you look at their manifesto, when they bring out their manifesto now, you will discover that they will be saying almost the same thing.
So Professor, now in all that you have said, are you saying that you're impressed with the pace of how our democracy is going so far?
You see, let me say this in retrospect. In those days, Fela said what we have in Nigeria is demonstration of grace. I don't know whether that thing still subsists today. Because I can't find a situation where, okay, take for instance, the governor of Akwa Ibom said he's moving over to APC, and any appointee that does not want to follow him should resign. Can you imagine that? And I thank God for one of them that's bold enough. He threw in his resignation yesterday. So if people have ideologies, you can't be pushing people up and down. Because you appointed somebody, so you now begin to think for that person. He must follow you to where you're going. Who does that? Where? How? That's what we are seeing in Nigeria. You know, say, if you will not follow me to a party, to another political party, you should resign your appointment. And because he knows that Nigeria is a country where people don't hardly resign their appointments. But I thank God for that commissioner that just threw in the towel and say he's not going with him. That is what it should be. People should begin to think. Don't allow their political leaders to think for you, because that's what they are doing now. They're allowing them to think for them. Anything they do, they accept it. It is very, very wrong.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Professor Nna, for your time and for speaking on this.
You're welcome, ma'am. You have a lovely night rest.
You as well. Now, away from that, over the week, the Edo State government received a 20-year-old lady, Iwinosa Okunrobo, who was trafficked to Burkina Faso. Okunrobo was reportedly lured with the promise of greener pastures and trafficked to Burkina Faso when she was 15 years old. Edo State Governor Monde Okpewolo, in collaboration with the Office of the First Lady and Edo State Migration Agency, moved to ensure her safe return after a viral TikTok video of the victim surfaced where she pleaded to be rescued. Now, receiving the trafficked victim, the coordinator, Office of the First Lady Edesili Okpewolo, expressed delight at a successful rescue and emphasized that Ms. Iwinosa's story serves as a testament to resilience. She pledged that the government will provide Iwinosa with the necessary care and support to help her recover from her ordeal. We now go over to Edo State, where the coordinator of the Office of the First Lady Edo State, Edesili Okpewolo Adani, is standing by for further insight on the rescued Nigerian girl from Burkina Faso. Good evening, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Good evening. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Now, I must say congratulations on the successful return of Okunrobo Iwinosa. It's a win for everybody, if I must say so. Now, can you walk us through how the Office of the First Lady got involved in her rescue, from Burkina Faso in the first place?
Oh, thank you so much. The news broke out from a blogger by name Blessing. She was the first person, a TikToker, that broke the news of the one who said it to us. And as soon as we heard of it, the state went into action. The governor, His Excellency Senator Monde Okpewolo, actually had given us a mandate to make sure that she was rescued. And then the rest is history today. She's back home safe and sound, and we're thankful to God.
All right, now, what role did your office play in coordinating with international partners and the Edo State Migration Agency during this operation?
Can you hear me? Sorry, the line is cracking.
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear, ma'am. So I asked the question, the role your office played in coordinating with international partners and the Edo State Migration Agency.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? All right, we'll try to reconnect with Mrs. Anani. Away from that, the 2025 Ojude Oba Festival is underway in Ijebu-Ode, Ogun State, kicking off one of Nigeria's most iconic cultural celebrations. Famed for its vibrant displays of tradition, regal attire, and daring horse riding pageantry, the festival draws thousands of visitors from across Nigeria and the diaspora. The town is buzzing with activity, welcoming dignitaries, tourists, and returning indigents for a celebration that blends deep cultural pride with economic opportunity. The Ojude Oba continues to shine as both a cultural spectacle and a key driver of local tourism and trade.
Very, very colorful. It's a real carnival, and I'm proud of my, from my state, Ogun State, and my what they call it, Ijebu. So Ijebu State, we are looking for it, and we will take it more in Ijebu State. We saw all the family, we saw Kuku, we saw Balogun.
I saw Farouk, Mr. Farouk. For you, did it meet up the expectations?
No, hits no miss.
What about you?
All hits no miss.
Well, it's been cool so far, actually. You understand? And it's just that everywhere is always
Come on, the horses were here.
But then, man, it's been really awesome. The performance of our horses, they did well, and the mode of the dressing. You know, as seeing me, I like the agbada that I put on this. I just remove it. If they can control the crowd a bit more, so that won't be okay. It was fun, really. I'd always been fun right from my childhood. So that's why I enjoy coming. Whenever I'm around in Nigeria, I believe me present here is a pleasure. And normally, you know, there must be something being added every year. This year, a lot of things change. While I believe next year, so many things will change, and so many things will be done also.
Well, thank you for staying with us. Now, I'm being told that we've been able to reconnect with the coordinator of the Office of the First Lady, Edo State, Edesili Okpeolo Anani. Thank you so much for staying with us, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Well, just before we lost you, I was asking what role your office played in coordinating with international partners and the Edo State Migration Agency during this operation.
So, as I said earlier, when the news broke, we had a mandate to make sure that Iwonasa had to come back to Nigeria, back home. It was we worked closely with the DG Migration because, and then we also have other partners like the IOM. And it was important that we worked together collectively to make sure that she got home safely. I was constantly in touch with the ambassador so that we could also facilitate her coming back to Nigeria. So it was a collective effort from my office, the state government, the DG, our international partners, and the Burkina Faso authorities as well.
All right. Now, how is the Office of the First Lady working to ensure victims like Okunrobo receive the psychological, medical, and social support that they need post-rescue?
You know, we have the 3 R's, which is, so basically right now she's back. So it's more, we're dealing with the other 2, which is rehabilitation and reintegration. So right now, Iwonasa is in a safe place. She's in one of our shelters. She's receiving medical attention. It starts with psychological attention first because she has to be debriefed mentally. She has to, sometimes these things become an addiction. So she has to get the medical support she needs psychologically first to make sure that her head space it's where it's supposed to be. And then the second phase is the medical physical examination. We're working in collaboration with the Edo Specialist Hospital, who will be doing all that. And then when we have a clean bill of health, both mentally, physically, then we go to the next phase. What do we do? I was opportune to speak to her personally on Thursday, the day after she came back, and she mentioned to me that she would love to go back to school so she could read and write properly. And so after, when we're done with the medical evaluation, the next phase begins for her.
Okay. Now, ma'am, with this rescue now complete, what are the next steps in your broader strategy to combat human trafficking in Edo State?
It's a sensitization thing. You know, we really need to sensitize the public, sensitize the children. And I say sensitization starts from as early as, you know, the very young age. So let children know. Edo State had, you know, one time, it was like everybody wanted to travel out of the country, but we're trying to change the narrative to say the grass might not be greener on the other side. And most times, these children are not really told what they are going to do. They are promised of a better life out there. And so we tell them no. We try to sensitize them from the young age. We also try to speak to the parents. Indirectly or directly, sometimes I say the parents are enablers. When parents begin to put pressure on their children, you know, The children just want to impress their parents sometimes and say, how do I help to make life better?
Easier.
We sensitize children and tell them, don't fall prey to certain devices. When people tell you, I will give you a better life, speak to your parents, speak to an adult, because most times you hear, don't tell anybody, don't tell anybody. The sensitization starts from the parents, as I always say. Then we take it to schools, we take it to the marketplace, we take it to the churches, we just take it everywhere and tell them of the ills out there.
Absolutely, ma'am. Now, just before we let you go, are there any ongoing collaborations, with other states or even countries to be able to trace and rescue other trafficked girls, originally from Edo State?
Oh, yes. So I said Iwanusa's voice was the voice of many other girls. An injustice to one girl is an injustice to every other girl. And Iwanusa's case has made, people to know that the voice of the girl child matters anywhere you are in the world, as long as you're from Edo State. The governor is very explicit on that. Return everybody back home that wants to come back home. Migrating is not the issue. Migrating illegally is the issue. And recently we've been having talks with international bodies. Very soon, we have a program that we're rolling out very soon. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag.
Okay.
But we'll be training our youths in Edo State. They'll be certified. So if you have to, or when you want to travel out, you'll be able to use this certificate to get legal paying jobs. It's a partnership we're running with some European countries, legal paying jobs. So you're not going out there to be sold into slavery, prostitution, hard drugs, and all that. But you're going to be legally employed and not be a nuisance. Most times I tell them, you become an ambassador. So they know that we are exporting, we have what to export out of Edo State when the case arises.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Thank you so much for your time and for speaking on this.
Okay, so let me just add something. So currently, the DG Immigration is out to Kenya to rescue another girl that has cried out.
Okay.
So we're on it 24/7 to bring back every girl child or everybody that cries out for help. We will rescue by the grace of God.
All right. Well, we hope that works out, and we will definitely be following up on this case, with the Edo State government as well. Thank you so much, ma'am. Away from Nigeria, at least 28 people have been killed in one of Tanzania's deadliest road accidents in recent memory. Authorities say a lorry lost control while descending a steep hill in the southwest, slamming into two vehicles, one of which, a minibus, plunged into a river near the Zambian border. Local police chief Benjamin Kuzaga blamed the crash on the driver's negligence, saying he failed to brake properly on Luambi Hill. Among the dead were 10 women and 4 children. President Samia Suluhu Hassan has expressed deep sorrow over the tragedy, sharing her condolences in a social media post. Now, according to the World Health Organization, road crashes remain a major public safety issue in Tanzania, with thousands of deaths reported annually. Diplomatic and security sources say the Wagner Group has officially pulled out of Mali, making way for Russia's newly established Africa Corps. Now, the private military group, long linked to the Kremlin, had been operating in Mali for several years, backing government forces in their fight against insurgents.
In the world of sport, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will host Nigeria Premier Football League MPFL champions Remo Stars at the Presidential Villa in Abuja. The date for the Sky Blue Stars' visit to Nigeria's seat of power is, however, yet to be announced. Daniel Ogunodede's side won the MPFL title for the first time in the 2024-2025 season. The Kenya-based club were the first privately owned club to achieve the feat in over 2 decades. Remo Stars were runners-up for 2 previous seasons before eventually claiming the title. They will feature in the CAF Champions League next season. Super Falcons forward Rasheedat Ajibade bid Atletico Madrid Femenino farewell as an emotional chapter has closed in her final game for the club. Ijebu-Ode joined the Spanish side in 2021 and quickly became a fan favourite, known for her pace, skill and fighting spirit. In a heartfelt message after her farewell match, Ijebu-Ode thanked the club, her teammate and fans, calling Atletico much more than a team, but a true family. She reflected on her growth both as a player and a person and expressed gratitude for the memories made. Though her next move hasn't been announced, Ijebu-Ode leaves behind a lasting legacy in Madrid and promises to keep cheering for her beloved Atleti. Kylian Mbappe scored his 50th international goal to help France secure a 2-0 win over Germany in the Nations League third-place playoff in Stuttgart. The French captain struck just before halftime, converting a pass from Real Madrid's teammate Aurélien Tchouameni. He later assisted Michael Olisa's goal in the 84th minute after capitalizing on the defensive error. Germany saw both a penalty and goal overturned by the video assistant referee, with Karim Adeyemi booked for simulation and Dennis Underv's strike disallowed due to a foul in the build-up. Despite chances from Adeyemi and Florian Wirtz, Julian Nagelsmann's side failed to score for the second consecutive match. France ended their tournament on a high ahead of the final between Spain and Portugal. Finally, in the world of sports, Nigerian women's cricket team secured a 36-run victory over Sierra Leone in the ongoing Kwibuka Women's T20 International Tournament. Batting first, Nigeria were all out for 104 in the 19.4 overs, with Kainde Musa and Christabel Chukwunonye both contributing 28 runs. Sierra Leone's Emma Kamara top-scored with 40 runs, but her team fell short, ending on 68-10 in 20 overs. Nigeria's bowlers dominated, with Kainde Musa taking 2 wickets for just 7 runs in 4 overs, supported by Rachel Sampson and others. The result strengthens Nigeria's push towards the semi-finals as the tournament progresses in Rwanda. Nigeria will face Kenya on day 7. And that's it in the world of sport. I am Onyinyechi Obaro.
And that's all at this hour. But before we go, here's another look at some of our major stories. We told you that President Tinubu to confer national honors on select lawmakers as part of activities to mark June 12 Democracy Day. We also told you that Naka traditional ruler calls for help over Apa Angwer West killings as Mieti Allah in Benue alleges threats to life and intimidation. Finally, we told you that Russia's Africa Corps replaces Wagner Group in Mali. Remember, you may send your eyewitness report to the WhatsApp number on the screen. Do follow us on social media. We are at News Central TV. You can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, GoTV channel 23, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV, and YouTube. Thank you for watching. I'm Darshan Usman.